Hello everybody, today I'm gonna throw light on differences between could and would, wherein most of the scholars are confused that how to use them in sentences correctly. In this video, I'm gonna teach you the correct usage of these modal verbs, which are called auxiliary verbs as well. There is a quiz at the end of the video to assess your understanding. Let's understand there are three main differences between usage of could and would. Let's start with the first one. The first difference is past tense form. Could is the past tense form of can and would is the past tense form of will. Let's start with the first example. I can swim for half an hour. This sentence describes that I have ability to swim for half an hour. Let's make a sentence using could. I could swim for half an hour when I was in school. This sentence sounds that I had ability to swim for half an hour when I was in school. Let's move further towards examples using would. Let's make a sentence using will. I plan I will start reading a new novel. Here this sentence describes that I plan today to start reading a new novel in the future. Let's make a sentence using would. I planned I would start reading a new novel. This sentence describes that I planned in the past to start reading a new novel in the future. That's how these two sentences are different. Let's move further towards second difference of would and could. Could is used for possible situations and would is used for imaginary situations. Let's start with some examples of could. First example, he could score well in exam. As you see somebody working hard, there are possibilities he could score well. Let's take another example. Next example is, Sid is calling me, he could have something important to share. As I see Sid is calling me, I predict he will surely have something important to share with me. These both are possible situations, that's why we do not use would with these sentences. Now let's learn some usage of would. Let's take first example. If I had a car, I would learn driving. Don't be worried about the past tense as it is used because it is used just to create one imaginary situation. Let's talk about another example. If I were a bird, I would fly in the sky. Here I have used word in a sentence, but you would be thinking that we use only was with I. But in some situations which are imaginary, we prefer using were with all the pronouns and nouns. Let's talk about the last example. If she won a lottery, she would buy a new house. Here again the past tense is used, but again it is one imaginary situation. That's how it does not define past tense. So in all the situations you can see that would is used as it is imaginary or these are imaginary situations. But don't forget one thing, that could is also used with all the situations, but it is less common. Let's talk about the another difference between these auxiliary verbs. Let's talk about the last difference. Could and would are used for polite expressions as well. Here I would be talking about main four key points: making suggestions, offers, requests, and asking for. Let's start with suggestions. For example, you could buy that new iPhone 11. Here you are suggesting your friend or somebody else to buy that phone. Keep in mind, while making suggestions we don't use would. Let's talk about offers. For example, would you like to have a cup of tea with me? Here you are making an offer to somebody to have a cup of coffee with you. You should understand would you like is fixed. We don't use could you like. Let's talk about making requests. For example, could you shut the door? This sentence can be made using would as well. Would you shut the door? Here you have to know that when we use would, it makes the statement more polite and formal. Let's talk about another way which we can use to make the same sentence. Would you mind shutting the door? You have to understand with would you mind we use gerund form of the verb. Means you have to add ing with verb. And we never say could you mind. Let's talk about the last difference. And that is asking for. For example, could I borrow your bike for a couple of weeks? The same sentence can be made using would as well. For examples, would it be okay if I borrowed your bike for a couple of weeks? Another example is, would you mind if I borrowed your bike for a couple of weeks? So both the sentences are right. As you see that in both of the sentences, second form of the verb is used, means past tense is used. Don't be worried about it. It is just a grammatical rule. Just pause the video for a while and start doing your quiz. Let's see answers. Thanks a lot for watching the video. Keep growing, keep learning. Jai Hind.